Number 1. Poor people play the game of defense. What are your chances of victory if you only play defense? Isn't it extremely low? Nonetheless, most people play the money game in that same way. Their main goal is to avoid losing. They just want to pay their bills and stay out of debt. However, the problem with this strategy is that if your goal is to stay above the water, you'll only get so far. The poor mentality is all about short-term gains. Of course, some people are better than that. They save 10% of their pay, invest in the stock market, and hope that the stock market does not fall so they'll have something to rely on when they retire. Yeah, we are referring to rich people here. Rich people keep going even when things get hard, as long as the goal is worth it. To gain great wealth, stop playing defense and start playing offense. Remember, keep shooting for the stars. Number 2. Poor people do not value freedom. By freedom, we're not referring to whether or not you have a democratic government. What freedom means to you is personal. It guides how you go about your day and make decisions. It's simply doing what you want, how you want, and where you want. Some people believe that money isn't everything. Or perhaps they think that living your life solely to make money is undoubtedly a wrong idea. The most well-known thought is that money is the root of all evil. Still, you may see people working from dawn to dusk for minimal pay to keep the debt collectors away from their homes, doing the job they wish they could leave. Not only do they dislike what they're doing, but they also hate their supervisor. They would certainly leave that job if given the opportunity. That is the only point we wish to make. Money equals freedom. How can you expect to seek money if you view it negatively? Rich people continue to get richer because it allows them to do whatever they want with their lives. They opt for work they love and set themselves on a path to success. Number 3. Poor individuals work hard for their money. This statement is problematic. Aren't you meant to work hard for your money? Let's clarify the issue. What do most people do to boost their earnings? They work harder to move up. And if that's not enough, they might consider getting a second job. The problem with this is that you have limited time no matter how much you're paid. Rich people know this, so they don't work hard for their money. Instead, they let their money work hard for them. They regard money as a tool that can help them generate more money rather than a piece of paper that can be used to buy everything they want. Of course, you'll have to work hard at first, but for the wealthy, this is temporary, while for the poor, it is permanent. When you've earned enough money to replace yourself, you will have more freedom. Number 4. The poor focus on obstacles, not opportunities. Let's understand this one with a story. Once a shoe salesman found himself in a faraway land, attempting to sell shoes to the locals. The only drawback was that hardly anyone wore shoes, making the sale difficult. The salesman gave up quickly out of frustration and left the area. He met another shoe salesperson on his way out. "Don't bother going into town," the first salesman said. "These people do not even wear shoes." The second salesman's eyes widened. "Nobody has any shoes? Then I'd be able to sell a pair to everyone in town. How fortunate we are to have discovered such an untouched market." It all comes down to perspective. The poor see problems and give up quickly, while the rich see opportunities and go where most people wouldn't dream of going. Number 5. The poor never starves for knowledge. Many students today believe that if they study hard enough to acquire their degrees, they'll never have to pick up another book for the rest of their life. They might make their fantasy a reality, but they'll probably stay poor for the rest of their lives. Do you know that the average millionaire reads one nonfiction book every month to develop into the person they wish to be, while the ordinary broke person will never change and will never read anything? So we'll come back to our point. Rich people want to learn as much as possible because they know that the more they know, the more likely they'll succeed, while the poor think that they know everything. Number 6. The poor focus on working income, not net worth. Poor individuals frequently discuss hourly wages, whereas wealthy people understand that hourly pay is not necessarily as essential as someone's net worth. People often say, "I should get $50 or $60 an hour because I work hard. I have a known university degree, or I'm more competent than everyone else." You understand what we mean. Nobody gives a damn. What matters in the end is how much money you can create. You may work harder than Jeff Bezos, but Bezos will earn $9 million an hour as you grumble. Number 7. Poor folks hang out with poor people. Jim Rohn was on point when he said that a person is said to be like the average of the 5 people with whom they spend the most time. Poor individuals prefer to be in their comfort zone. Therefore, they surround themselves with people who are equal to them or have similar mental abilities. They care more about protecting their egos than being ignorant. Rich people, on the other hand, surround themselves with more intelligent people. Change the individuals who influence you if you want to get out of debt. Begin by reading books published by wealthy individuals, listening to their speeches, and studying how they think and act. Change the individuals who impact you, and your life will change. Number 8. The poor believe in or, while the wealthy believe in both. The word opportunity cost was made up by economists a long time ago. If you choose one thing, you'll have to give up something else. In other words, if you have $5 and purchase a $5 ice cream cone, you ultimately give up the pack of gum you wanted. This is also how poor people think. However, the wealthy are concerned with how they may obtain both. Let's give a rich person $5. They too desire an ice cream and a $5 pack of gum. The person with a wealthy mindset will not purchase the ice cream or gum, but a 24-pack of water for $5. They earn $12 by selling each water bottle to passers-by for 50 cents. They can now enjoy their ice cream cone and gum while still having $2 left over. The wealthy believe in both, rather than or. Number 9. The poor mismanage their money. You weren't born knowing how to handle your money. Instead, you have to learn how to do it. People fear that managing their finances will limit their independence. They don't want to stick to a budget or think hard before purchasing. Poor people start spending their money the minute they receive their pay. But the truth is, if you don't handle your money, you'll never achieve financial independence, and that brief sense of thoughtless joy is an actual freedom. Second, many people feel that to deal with this urge to spend thoughtlessly, they must make a lot of money. However, it becomes much more complicated than you believe, and if you can't manage your salary well, how do you expect to manage 10 times that amount? Number 10. Poor people wake up later than rich people do in their early years. In the beginning, poor individuals are lazier than rich people. We know that this sentence will bother some of you, but statistics show that if you use your youth to improve yourself, you are much less likely to be poor as an adult. If you wake up late, on the other hand, you're more likely to stay poor as an adult. Don't waste time on meaningless activities. Instead, try educating yourself. Otherwise, at some point, you'll be so far behind in your achievements that you'll be unhappy. People who do not prioritize growth in their early years wind up working harder and with less success later in life. So buckle up and set yourself on a path to success by waking up early. Number 11. Sports is an outsized priority for the poor. Sports can be an incredible passion, but spending too much time, energy, and money on sports can cause other interests to suffer. Sports can be a problem when people spend too much money on going to games and don't have enough money left over for savings or retirement. When a sports obsession causes you to overlook your finances, it might keep you poor. It should be low on your list of priorities if you want to be financially successful in life. Consider it a hobby rather than the center of your life or identity. Number 12. Irregular sleeping patterns. Do you know that the average individual sleeps 229,961 hours in their lifetime, which is nearly 1/3 of their existence? This figure is expected to be significantly lower among the poor. In fact, 33.6% of individuals living below the poverty level reported sleeping less than 7 hours per night. Sleep deprivation is a vicious cycle that keeps poor people poor. Here's how it works. Poor people sleep less than they should, making them sick. It makes it even harder for them to make a good living and be productive workers. Ultimately, it limits their earnings potential and prevents them from rising over the poverty level. Number 13. Focusing on only one income source. Most people have only one job on which they rely to support themselves. However, you must evaluate all the expenses you must pay each month. Isn't that a lot? Are you setting aside some amount for your retirement or ensuring that your old age will be smooth without any financial problems? Your entire existence is based on that single source of income, so if something happens to you or your job, you could be in significant difficulty. Number 14. Poor dwell on the past. We recognize that you may have been unsuccessful in previous efforts. Still, You shouldn't let that stop you from trying again if you're sure it'll work. Please continue to work at it until it benefits you. Even the wealthy attempt and fail at many tasks. The difference is they do not focus on past failures. Choose your fate and fight until your future becomes clear. Number 15. Poor shamelessly ask others for money. Entitlement is a lousy way of thinking because it makes people believe that people who did the work owe them something for free. Instead of working hard and making a fortune, people with a poor mentality will try to get what others have by asking them for favors. This is a perfect recipe for remaining poor. Living off your parents, friends, or the government is a trap that will keep you from getting rich. Conclusion. We all agree that many poor people are trapped in conditions beyond their control. But most people who watch this video can change their lives if they're willing to take charge of their habits. Which of these habits do you wish to work on? Please leave a comment and let us know. Also, if you made it this far, remember to subscribe to The Growth Mindset and give this video a thumbs up. Thanks for tuning in.